If you go to US to study business analytics in 2026, will you easily get a H1B later on? Have you thought about it? And if you haven't, then you should start thinking now, because in 2026 the H1B system has completely changed. Instead of a random lottery, we now have a wage based selection system, which means higher salaries are getting rewarded, and this completely changes your study abroad strategy as well. So there would be some degree programs which are going to mostly land you in level 1 or level 2 kind of jobs, and there your chances of finding a H1B is going to be very very low. So shouldn't you be thinking of those majors or degree programs which actually maximize your chances of finding H1B? And this is why today I want to talk about those degree programs which are going to be H1B friendly from this year onwards. All this on the other side of the intro. Keep watching. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Nishtha from Scholar Strategy and 24 North Star. Now, if you're planning to study in US, you need to rethink the ROI of your education system entirely. Why? Because we now have a brand new H1B system that does not reward effort, that does not reward GPA, that does not reward which university you are attending. It just rewards one thing, that can you get into a job which pays you level 3 or level 4 wages. Okay, now every year I used to rank majors based on their popularity, ease of finding a job, etc. But today I want to rank majors based on their ROI, and definition of ROI has changed now because H1B is now linked to wages. So we have to look at majors which make it easier for me to get a H1B, which means majors that can help me land jobs which will pay me level 3 or level 4 salaries, right? So today I'm going to talk about 7 popular majors which are going to be affected in this new H1B lottery, and this is how you should think about them. Let's look at the first category. And the first category of majors is the one that benefits the most from this new H1B system. So I will give you example degree programs in each category. And here the first program I want to talk about is, of course, AI, machine learning, and advanced or more specialized kind of computer science courses. If you look at the H1B data, you will see that ML and AI roles are regularly fetching salaries which are higher than $150,000 to $200,000 annual packages. This means that you can reach level 3 earlier than many other categories. Level 4 can easily appear by your mid-career. So while you spend those 3 years on OPT, you can get very closer to the kind of levels that you want to get picked up in the H1B lottery. And just a side note, that I do think that a PhD in these AI ML kind of programs is even valued more highly, and it can accelerate your salary growth much faster. Okay, second example in this category would be cybersecurity roles, where again H1B filings are showing average salaries of 130 to 180,000 kind of packages. This gives you clean justification for level 3 or 4 much sooner than generic software engineering roles. Now the demand is only going to grow across the industries, but a caveat here is that a lot of cybersecurity roles or companies which are specializing in this might fall under government contracts or regulated infrastructure, which means that those roles will not be open to non-US citizens. But of course, you can go for these roles at big tech companies or normal commercial mainstream companies as well, because as AI threat grows, the demand for cybersecurity is only going to go up. Third example degree here would be semiconductors, VLSI, or more hardware specialized kind of degree programs. If we look at the data, firstly, this category benefits from smaller applicant pool. Higher median wages are there, and better level 3 to 4 ratios is seen in the salary packages. So this field is definitely benefiting from strategic investments in US these days. Caveat here again, some of the semiconductor and hardware roles might fall under ITAR control regulations, not open for citizens, but still I think this is a growing category, and electronics and electrical engineers can totally leverage this growth. Now let's move to the second category of programs, which is conditionally strong degrees. These are also majorly benefiting in this new H1B system, but yes, you have to be careful. So some example programs here would be data engineering and applied data roles. Again, if you look at public filings, we can see typical salary ranges of $130,000 to $170,000. You can get to level 3 faster than generic roles, and strong demand in infra heavy teams. So as we see expansion of AI capabilities, you will have to build better data centers, and data engineering and infra roles are only going to grow up. In fact, this is one of the roles which I thought is better positioned for Middle East job markets as well. Now, of course, let's not forget the war that is going on, but in normal times, this is a more global degree. It can make you job ready in so many other geographies as well. So I do really like it. Next example here in this category would be quant finance or financial engineering roles, which also I like. And you will see quant roles tend to pay very, very high salaries in some cases. Like you can easily make $150,000 to $250,000 plus annual salaries, frequent level 3-4 classification. But the problem here is scarcity. Like the companies which will be paying these kind of salaries are very, very few, but they will pay insanely high salaries. The caveat here is if you just graduate from a very average kind of a program and go for a generic finance or business track degree, you may not be able to crack this role. But if you do a strong math or stats heavy degree financial engineering course from a reputed institute like CMU or something, you can try breaking into this very, very selective industry. Now let's come to the last category, and these are the degrees that are going to struggle the most in this new H1B system. And here the first program is General MS in Computer Science degrees. Now there is such an oversupply of computer science engineers, along with so many qualified people who were laid off from the big tech companies. This is a degree that is not really positioning you very well in the job market right now. The salaries are pretty average, like $90,000 to $120,000 entry-level salaries, and heavy concentration in level 1 and 2, plus intense competition. So I think these days, if you're going for computer science, you have to go really pair it with a strategic specialization. Without a niche, be it in AI systems, security, or infra, CS graduates are priced like commodities in the wage systems, regardless of university ranking. So doing a very generic CS degree is a double-edged sword right now. And last example I want to give in this category is business analytics or MIS, or just general management, techno management kind of degrees. What we are observing from the data is these typically have lower salary ceilings and early wage stagnation, dominant level 2 filing, so it's very hard to crack level 3, level 4 in these degree programs. And I again think there is massive oversupply in case of business analytics and these kind of courses. The class sizes are huge, not everybody is getting placed. So these roles are going to be more offshoreable or contract heavy, so they will just push them out to other countries like India. And employers would be reluctant to pay high dollars for these kind of graduates, is what I feel. So these are the 7 degree programs that I wanted to talk about, and they are examples. There can be more degree programs in each of the category, but you will get some idea from the examples I have given already. Now I have done other videos on this new H1B system as well, which I recommend that you go through if you are planning to apply for H1B this year or next year or eventually. So if you are trying to study in the US, you have to make yourself aware of how the H1B system is working, and you have to strategize even your master's applications and education accordingly. I hope this list was helpful. The crux here is that new H1B system is not about best degree. It is about which degrees can create better pricing power for you, of course, without crossing into the ITAR or citizenship restricted category. So, all right, I hope this was helpful. If you have any more questions about H1B or this new changes, etc., do let me know in the comments. I will see you guys next week with a fresh new video. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.